Alright folks, I'm not gonna lie to you, it took me about 5 minutes to figure out that that wasn't Morse code after listening to it over and over and over again. So then I went on a quest to see if I could discover what it was, and it appears it's something called tap code, which is something I've never even heard of before, so I had 0% chance of figuring out what she was saying there. I tried to teach myself tap code, and I was looking at the Wikipedia article, which has, it's like a table, a 5x5 table tap code, and I was listening to what she was saying, and I still couldn't get it. It came out gibberish. So I basically looked up what she said, and apparently she said bad Hannah, which is not even close to what I had. I don't know how somebody hears that in that. To me, I even tried to, after learning what it was, I tried to listen to it to get it right, and I still couldn't. So that's what that one turned out to say. So I'm just going to go ahead and move on from here. All right, well. Looked up Hannah, and this one's interesting. They have a lie detector apparatus strapped onto her. I'm not... Oh, well, it's in the 90s, I suppose, so that... Well, it's supposed to be in the 90s, at least. This wouldn't... nothing about this video is going to convince me of anything. These are completely inaccurate if something is going on up here.
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Sometimes these can be so short that, like, it's a little abrupt how quickly it ends, and it leaves you, it's like jarring me, if that makes sense. It's almost taking me out of the context, if you get what I'm meaning. And if not, you're probably a sensible person. Aha! She drove somewhere. Let's see.
I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep. I think when I drove back it was about 8 or something, and I got back to the house about 3.
I just need to check something really quick. I can see that she's put her hair back at some point between here and here, but I could swear her voice even changed.
I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going. I think when I drove back it was about 8 or something. And I got back to the house about 3.
Okay. No, it was similar. I'm just hypercritical of everything this woman does at this point. Alright, apparently I haven't looked up married before. I would not have guessed that. I would have really thought I had done that already.
A long time. We got married when I was 17. Childhood sweethearts. Something like that. Are you married, detective?
Stop it. Stop. Stop trying to get the focus off of you. Clearly the focus is on you. Once again, I'm fascinated that I have not looked up pub yet. It's shocking.
God, I don't know. Could be anyone. Maybe someone followed him back from the pub. But why would he let them in? Doesn't make sense.
No, not at all. I agree. Doesn't make sense. Oh. I am not ready for this. Oh boy.
Really? Okay. Here's the rest.
Oh God.
They laid a body on the doctor. Oh, the wind and the rain. Till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by on a dreadful
fuck?
Yes, he made fiddle pegs from the finger bones of the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone. Oh, the wind and rain. The sound could pierce a heart of stone. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you.
Yep, I agree. That was not as horrifying as the original one. It didn't get me like the first one got me, but it was still. I thought he was going to make a fiddle bow from her hair and play her back to life. No. I assumed that it would get good or by get good I mean turn positive. It did not. After watching that now, I have definitely decided this lady, at the very least, has at least some form of psychological issue. I am positive of this at this point. Okay, I've got a result just from putting in other, because there's a metric of them.
No, it's okay. The other detective has just gone to get me one.
What, a drink? It seems these people offer you drinks all the time. This is why. This is what they give me. They're reminding me of how thirsty she is. Of course. Ah, I have some results on wig. Take them.
A wig? You mean... But what type of wig? No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig?
Nice. I've got some results off of husband.
I haven't been into work. I guess I've just been waiting to hear from you, hear from my husband.
What about this one?
She's crying, I guess. She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman. But it's okay, because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother. And so it's fine. No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning.
I've got a result for average. That's good.
So, our sex life is probably fairly average for a couple after 10 years of marriage.
Alright, so we can do the math now. So she got married when she was 17, that means she's 27 now if they've been married for 10 years. If she's 27, that means that she was born in... That means she was born in 67. Right? Yes. If she was born in 67, that means somebody in their 20s and the 40s would have been in their 40s in the 60s, maybe even it depends on, because 67's moving towards the end. I guess that's something feasible. I don't know if anybody'd call that believable, though. Ah, I got results for coffee.
Black coffee, thanks. No sugar. Sweet enough as it is.
That's the grossest thing I think I've ever heard. Made my skin crawl.
Coffee, I guess. Milk and sugar.
Complete opposite. Most of you that already have come to the conclusion that it's one person are probably just shouting at yourselves. Well, of course, it's the complete opposite. I guess that could technically also be held true for the people that believe that it's two different people, wouldn't it? Huh. What do you know? What do we have here?
Fine. I've never had my fingerprints taken before. I once put my hand on the oven.
Alright, so I've been thinking about it, and I think that one possibility of what it could be is that the song could actually be true, and there could have been two separate girls, and one of them killed the other one, and that sort of like broke her personality, and now she like lives on through like a split personality of her. I think that's a possibility of something it could be. Also, another thing that I think it could be is what if she does have split personalities, but it's a more recent happening, like it's as a result of killing Simon that her personality then broke into two separate people, and she's using that as a coping mechanism. I think that is also something that it could be. Oh, wow, okay. I did not expect that. Awesome.
Fingerprints.
Okay. Glad I found that one.
Could they have been my parents' fingerprints? I'm not sure how long they last for, but is that possible?
How long didn't your parents die? Like 9 years ago? I'm no expert, but I'm gonna go with no.
Really? Go on then. Take the cup. Run your fingerprints. They'll match. Fucking didn't.
Oh, more defensism. I'm actually gonna ask her that. Why so defensive all the time? Make you look guilty. Bad idea. So I've just come to a new idea. Maybe the game is asking me to choose between do I think she's just telling the truth, and there are actually two individual personalities, or maybe the game wants me to question, nah, this lady just murdered her husband and she's lying out of her ass to try and convince you of something. Maybe that's what it wants me to think. I haven't said on it yet. Ah, another answer for the war, eh?
When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by tapping out a code that we'd learned from a book. The knock code. Something prisoners of war would use. We'd tap them out on radiator pipes or the attic floor.
She was almost in a trance there.
But they couldn't find any. Bought a cat anyway.
So I just that one apparently says I love you. Yeah, I wasn't going to spend my time trying to decipher that. I failed so miserably at the other one. Did you see how, like, I don't know if the actress needed to do that so she could keep the rhythm down, and that's how she learned it for herself. But on video, it looked like she went into a trance. This video where she's ragging on her mother-in-law for secretly smoking, as if it's some big deal to keep secret. It's almost like something a child would think is important as a secret, you know? Right, I've got something on bedroom.
In the bedroom.
Oh, dang it. There was nothing. Alright, but we do have something on Hurt. That's nice.
Suicide? No. I mean, he would never do anything like that. He is not the kind of person to do anything like that. I mean, to hurt himself? No.
That'd be a real twist for the story, wouldn't it? If, in fact, he had killed himself and she is only capable of dealing with it by convincing herself she, in fact, murdered him and she's broken a separate personality, is what. That might be too many layers too deep.
I mean, I don't know. Something must have happened to him on his way home. He could be hurt. I mean, why hasn't he phoned? I don't know. Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room.
Excuse me?
His throat had been cut. There was a lot of blood.
Aha.
He was dead.
I could swear that she's talked about him being in the basement. Maybe that's where they hid him.
Like I said before,
We have here.
when she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had. She knew that instant. The look on his face. She knew.
Oh, we've got something for crying. That's sad.
She sent him out the house, kicked him out, called me up, crying, and I went round. I guess I had a feeling I could hear something was wrong in her voice, but I wasn't sure what it was. She called me sister on the phone. She never calls me that.
Okay, another woman has a result.
No, Simon wasn't seeing another woman.
Oh, their sex life is something they talk about a lot, apparently.
Really? You're going to ask me about my sex life? I mean, isn't that private?
Get over yourself.
Are you married? How is
Not
your
relevant.
sex life?
Not relevant. So stupid. Finally, the time has come. I've gotten to my favorite term I have not looked for yet. Just why so defensive? Fuck you, game. Fuck you. Okay, throat has a result.
On his throat. How?
Oh, blood has 3 results. That's good.
Okay. I've given blood before. Do you need to take that for your records? Nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The blood. It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Interesting that your baby that you lost is not the worst thing that's ever happened to you.
She was sat behind him. She had my wig on. And she'd been there all day. She had blood on her. She was in shock.
I'm really hoping that this game isn't. I hope that the crux of this game doesn't hinge on me believing that there actually are two different people. At this point, I don't think I can bring myself to believe that based off of the facts that they're trying to purport as being, you know, your neighbor stole your baby and raised it without you knowing, and then you secretly moved it into your attic. If the game hinges on me believing that, I'm just never going to. And I guess it'll just be ruined for me if it does hinge on that. Alright, so I've just counted and I've got 44 videos left. So I'm pretty close. So I've gone through all of my search terms, so I'm gonna have to go back through stuff, I guess, and try to find something new or think about things to discover. I don't know, but I'll get back to you when I've got something for you.